You ever have that feeling like you're just trapped by your circumstances? Well, in his book, The Things I Tell Myself, Lungani Zwangobani says the key to breaking free isn't about changing the world around you, it's about changing the words you use to talk about it. And it all kicks off with one single, really defiant idea.
Now, Zwangobani isn't talking about just, simple positive thinking. He sees self-talk as a weapon, a war cry that you shout to yourself before you head into battle, and not a battle against other people, but a battle against your own despair and the things that are trying to hold you back.
For him, this wasn't just some abstract theory. It was a literal lifeline. He was facing some really profound personal loss, and he developed this whole mindset as a way to fight back, to refuse to let his past dictate his future. It's really all about grabbing control of your own story. Okay, so this brings us to maybe the most provocative idea in the entire book. When you hear the phrase, God complex, what do you think of? Probably arrogance, right? Well, Zwangobani takes that idea and just flips it completely on its head.
He redefines it. To him, it's about recognizing our own innate power to create. It's this deep belief that you can literally create your world, your purpose, your entire future, from scratch, starting right where you are with whatever you've got.
So you can see the huge contrast here. On the one hand, the common view is totally negative. It's about ego, feeling superior. But in Zwangobani's view, it's actually a responsibility. Not just to create for yourself, but to see that same creative spark in everyone else, and to work on building a better world together. And once you start to embrace this creative power, it totally changes the kinds of questions you ask about your own life. Your focus shifts away from some distant imaginary future, and it lands right here, squarely in the present moment. We've all been asked this a million times, right? But Zwangobani says this question is actually really misleading. Think about it. It implies that who you are right now is just temporary, like you're a placeholder until the real you finally shows up someday. So he says we should ask a much more powerful question. Becoming isn't something that's going to happen in the future. It's a process that's happening right now, in the present tense, with every single choice you make. Your purpose isn't something you go out and find. It's something you actively build, moment by moment. Your future self isn't some stranger you're waiting around to meet. You are that person. You're just at an earlier stage of development. It's like your future is actually pulling you forward, shaping the person you are today. And this is how you actually do it, how you put it into practice. You just start living it now. You make conscious choices that add up to the person you want to be. You're not just a student, you are becoming a doctor. You're not just an intern, you are becoming a writer. See the difference?
Zwangobani tells this wonderful little story about his grandmother buying him shoes that were way too big for him, like 2 sizes too big. He said he looked ridiculous at first, but you know what? Eventually, he grew into them. And he says our purpose is exactly the same. It might feel huge and overwhelming right now, but we were meant to grow into it.
So, what is it that allows us to grow into that purpose? Well, to really understand who we're becoming, the book says we first have to understand the foundation that we're built on. He talks about watching builders put up a house. The most important part, this super strong double brick foundation, took the most time and the most material. And then, what happened? It was completely buried, gone, never to be seen again. And that invisible foundation, that's us. Our lives are held up by all the sacrifices, the support, the lessons from the people who came before us. Their hard work is the hidden structure that lets the visible part of our lives, our success, stand tall. I mean, this isn't just a nice metaphor, right? It's about recognizing the actual real-life heroes in our own lives, whose work is the bedrock of who we are today. It's a powerful reminder that we don't build our lives all by ourselves. And when you really grasp that, it comes with this pretty profound sense of responsibility. Because just as other people were a foundation for us, we now have a duty to become a strong, unseen foundation for the people who are going to come after us. This feeling of responsibility doesn't just stop with our own immediate circle. It's not just about building our own individual houses. It's about looking after the entire collective garden of humanity. And this is where everything we've talked about really comes together. Our purpose, our so-called God complex, it isn't just for our own personal gain. We are all here with a shared assignment, to be caretakers, to use our unique gifts to water the garden and make the world a more beautiful place. Just think about that. You are one of over 7 billion souls on this same assignment. Every single person, with all their unique gifts and experiences, is essential to this project.
Nobody else can water your little patch of the garden for you.
You know, when Zwangobani was thinking about whether or not to write this book, he wasn't worried about the risk to himself. The only question that really mattered to him was this one. What happens to other people if I don't share this? And that's really a question for all of us. What happens to the world if you don't share your gift?
In the end, it all comes down to this simple fact. Your existence is your qualification. The very fact that you are here right now means you have everything you need. You're already in the garden, so the only real question left is, what are you going to help grow?